Hello, hello. How is everyone doing today? Erin, you did your hair. Look at this.
I got it cut.
Nice. It looks great. I did not do my hair today. Check it out. Oh. I had an early flight out of Florida coming home, so it did not happen. That's the way it
Okay,
goes.
all I have to say is, you want to smell like lavender?
Listen, okay. All right. So first of all, I hate that game. Like I never get anxiety or nervous, but when he pulls that thing out, like I get so anxious and nervous. Like, I'm not ready for that. I'm not good at that. And so the only thing that came to mind was to try to be funny. And I remember from 2001, there's that skit where Will Ferrell was oh, what's the guy's name? Oh, I can't remember now. But anyways, like he talked about he just said lavender and it just sounded funny. And I thought, I'm just gonna throw it out there. And then I'm like,
I watched the skit
stupid.
after that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Robert Goulet. He was being Robert Goulet. And thank you, sir.
Oh, got on the wrong device. Hold on.
You got it, right? I did. Juan, what's up, buddy? How are you?
I got on the wrong device. Hold on.
No worries.
You're back.
Yeah. So anyway, all that to say, I was very kind of bummed when that came up and I did that. I'm like, God, there's so many different things I could have said. Gasoline. I love the smell of gasoline, fresh cut wood, so many different things that are just kind of like, especially for truckers, it would have been good. I totally blew it, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's something I would do. I just had to tease you a little bit.
And it's something that I did. It was embarrassing, especially with Mr. Supply Chain coming right after. And of course, he got to hear the question, so he got to think about it, come up with a good answer. And of course, they said he sounded like money. Who's going to turn that down? They'd have said, "Yeah, you sound like money." I would have said, "Yeah, that's right, that's me."
Yeah.
So I personally think I got gypped on that whole thing, but that's
what happened. You sound very sad.
Well, I was on What the Truck on Monday. And
oh, really?
Yep, and I was talking about maritime and what we're doing for freight forwarders and cargo container companies, things like that. And they brought out the stupid wheel of questions. They do it every time. Brought out the wheel of questions, and and the question was, if you were going to be a scented, thing hang from the mirror in a truck stop, what scent would you be? I'm like, I totally blew it. I said lavender. Like, what is that?
What? Why lavender?
Okay. Again, I have to tell the story. It makes no sense.
Pinewood, man. Pinewood. You gotta go.
I know, Juan. I know. See, I was just telling Erin that when this thing comes up, when he pulls that thing up, I get anxiety like never before. I never get anxious about anything. Like I don't worry about anything. But when that thing comes up on his desk, I start sweating bullets. So he asked me what I wanted to be, and I said, "Oh, I don't know." And so I said lavender. And the only thing I could think of was that Will Ferrell did this skit in 2001 with Conan O'Brien, where he pretended to be Robert Goulet, who was a singer back in the 80s, or whatever. And at one point, he's like, he said, "What?" They said, "What's that smell?" And he goes, "Lavender." And it just kind of sounded funny. And I thought, I'm just going to repeat that. Of course, nobody got it, and it was totally stupid, but that's how it worked out.
It's not that bad. I thought it would have been worse, man.
I should have said
I'd get nervous
like fresh cut
being on fucking What the Truck, man. I'd probably blow it up.
I don't mind the other questions, but man, that stupid wheel of questions, it's like, I'm 0 for 3 on that thing. That thing beats me every time. So Tyler Crow, what's up?
What's the whole wheel of question thing?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Tyler, 5 days in a row. I love it, man. I get to see you every day. So good.
I know, literally every single day. I had to jump on, but I'm going to mute myself because.
Yeah, go right ahead, man. Jump back in whenever. So the wheel of questions is something that Dooner came up with. They put it up on their desk. They spin it. Now, let me just tell you something about this. So I got to say this. The second time that they did that, he spun the wheel and he started asking the question before it stopped, which means he already determined what question he's going to ask. Like that or every question was the same. I don't know which way he rolled that, but he started asking me the question before it stopped. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like, you already decided what question you're going to ask me. So it's always I feel like I'm getting set up, but that's the way it goes. Just the way it is. Justin, what's up, my brother?
Living the dream.
Living the dream. One day at a time. Been to Chicago lately? Been any cold weather situations lately you want to talk about?
I've been to Chicago. I've been to Dallas. I've been to Pennsylvania, but I'm done.
For a while.
At least for right done traveling.
Yeah. Full flights, not full flights. What have you experienced?
Let's see. From most of my flights have been pretty full. Delta does a better job than American. Americans are always completely full. Delta keeps the middle line open in most of theirs.
They're still doing that? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Southwest is back to full, although today there were only like 50 people, so I got to sleep a little bit, which was nice. So Erin's hair is making waves today. Everybody's noticing.
Speaking of waves, are those waves or are those beach curls?
No, they're just regular curls.
Look at that. Those are some massive curls. Well done. Well done.
Did you get it cut off too, Erin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
A lot.
Yep. Haircut, got it styled. All good.
She was telling date tonight or something.
Yeah, something's going on. What's happening?
Oh.
Erin, you're that pretty girl at the party.
Serious?
What?
You're that pretty girl at the party.
From that post that you from your recent post. That was good. That was a good post. I actually enjoyed that. That was
I laughed so hard
loved
that I was having such a bad day, and that one.
How long did it take you to come up
up
with that? Like, did you copy that? Did you think through that? Like,
So like I've read that before, and and I was like,
recreating it a little bit.
I'll put in my words and put it in, and there was a lot of people like commented on it and had like their own ways of like. I was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah, it was well done, man. Well done.
The writing.
Juan's house.
Juan's cooking it up.
I know, serious.
Yeah, like you guys, I've been fasting this week, so like lunch is becoming very important. I lost a bunch of weight, man.
Like a bunch of weight.
What are you chopping up?
Oyster mushrooms. I found them the other day. They're very rare here. I'm gonna do a stroganoff, and I'll post it so Nick can be the judge because he's the one that knows about that. He's from that part of the country, from the world.
Nice.
But our mushrooms.
Just be nice, Nick. Be nice.
Hi, everyone. Happy Friday.
Racquelle, what's up? Happy Friday, Racquelle.
Hey, Racquelle.
Hey, by the way, Racquelle is the reason that we're actually having the call today. So listen up. So I was traveling this week. I was traveling this week.
Kidding.
And I got a little busy and didn't send out the invite till this morning, but I had to send it on my phone because I was at the airport and the Wi-Fi was terrible. So I sent it on my phone, and then Racquelle sends me an email message that I got on the flight, like right before I landed on the flight. She's like, "Are we meeting today?" I'm like, "Yeah, I sent it out this morning." And she's like, "I didn't get anything." So I'm like, "Oh no." So I get off the flight, I just camp right there, I park it real quick, I check, and I realize that it only went to 11 people, and I have no idea why. So canceled that one, resent a new one, and so if it weren't for Racquelle, I would have been jumping on this call today. Nobody would have been on there.
Trey, is it not an invite that's already set? Because I thought it was like in my calendar all the time.
No,
or so accept it every.
So I send a specific one each week with a new link and all that as a reminder. And because and here's the reason why. I add people to the invite sometimes when they ask. And if I did a like every Friday thing, every time I add somebody, it would like resend it. It's like, so I'm trying to get away from that as much as possible. So I just send a new one every week. It's kind of annoying, but what are you gonna do? So
I mean, if I'm on the calendar, I'm religiously on time.
I know. See, this has like been your saving grace because for a while there we just couldn't get it going. And now if I get you on the calendar invite, you're all good. So it's all good. Diana, what's going on? How are you? Whoa, look at the camera. Oh, but you're muted. Everyone's like doing their hair today. Look at this.
I know. I had to take some me time. Erin, your hair looks fabulous. I love your color, by the way. That's what I'm going for. That's why I'm like this.
Oh, look at Diana.
Natural.
Hey, Diana.
I know. Is there a party tonight? What's going on? Are we meeting up? What's going on?
Oh, yeah. It's always a party. Shit.
Yeah, right. I've invited myself twice, and all I get is go to some Puerto Rican restaurant in the.
Justin, I'm sorry. Wait, when you coming back?
Probably not for about 6 months now.
What?
Hey.
And never again in January or February.
Yeah. Bro, stay away.
I'll be out there in a couple weeks. So.
Trey, you don't. But you're always so busy and you're going all over the place. So
A little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you believe he came to Medellin and he didn't even shout out for like lunch or anything? I'm like,
okay, that was like
heartbroken.
That was
man.
like 14 months ago. All right, and you're still holding on
I'm
to
still
that?
heartbroken.
Well,
Imagine
Hey,
that.
hey,
Clearly,
those
it
are
really
so fresh,
upset him.
okay?
Imagine
What are you whining
that.
about now, Troy?
What?
Right?
What are you whining
You just
about
call
now,
me Troy.
I did intentionally because you're whining.
You're about to be muted. Yeah. Greg, what's up, man? How are you?
Oh,
Unmuted.
another day in the life.
You know what I really want? I want the Tony Reali controls. I want to be able to like block somebody or freeze their face. You know, I got to figure out how to get that. I mean, they need to put that on Zoom. They need to make those features available where you can just freeze somebody. Unfortunately, it is not, but that's all right. We'll get to it at some point. How's it? I got the Chicago row here on the bottom line, pretty much, except for Racquelle on my screen. So nice contingency today from Chicago overall. Very good. John Sutton from St. Louis, man, reporting. What happened to our weather, bro? It's like 45 day.
I don't know, man, but it's going to be picking up some real soon. Oh, excuse me.
All right, better be.
Sorry, we're celebrating Employee Appreciation Day here.
It's what Appreciation Day?
It's Employee Appreciation Day in the office, so we've already had a couple sodies today.
Oh, nice. That would have been a good day for me to visit. I should have just stopped by on my way back from the airport. That's for sure. So I did
think we're
something
going to hit
today
70 here today.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be that in a couple weeks here.
Oh, yeah.
So I did something today for lunch that I haven't done before. I don't know if I'm turning over a new leaf, or I don't know if I did something sacrilegious. I'm not sure. But I went to Chick-fil-A today and I got grilled nuggets and fruit. I'm not sure what's going on today. What do you guys think? Is that a bad move, good move?
No, that's good.
Real
Pretty
nuggets.
good.
Totally approved. You can't go wrong with Chick-fil-A.
No, it's hard to go wrong at Chick-fil-A.
It is hard to go wrong, but you know, I mentioned this to other people before, and the fact that I didn't get like a chicken sandwich, you know, or if I get a grilled chicken sandwich, I get looked at funny, like I get shamed. I get Chick-fil-A shamed if I have a grilled chicken sandwich. People are like, you didn't get the number one? What?
I do get the number one every time I go to Chick-fil-A.
You're not limited to one sandwich.
Gives you crap. I go to Chick-fil-A, they're going to hell. So
right. But I'll tell you what, during the summertime when they have their peach shakes, peach shakes are like the best thing in the world.
I'm not a peach shake person. I'm a chocolate shake person.
I would die a happy man.
The shakes are good. I will say overall, the consistency is good. I like the chocolate shakes. That's really kind of what I'm on. I'm not really a peach shake person, but I'll give it to you. But no, Robert, I got a question. When you go to Chick-fil-A, do you go to Chick-fil-A first of all, just to make sure? Yes. When you go to Chick-fil-A, how many number one meals do you buy for yourself?
All of them.
I need 8,000 calories worth of meals, whatever that is.
No, I usually get like, this isn't a joke, the big family platter of nuggets. I'll go through one of those.
Is that 50? How many nuggets is that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's a lot. I'm sitting on 12 and
not a small human. Yeah, that's what it is.
No, not a small human. Not a small human. Not at all. Okay, so today's show is going to be a little bit different, everybody. As I mentioned earlier, I was traveling back from Florida today. I did not do my hair today, so this is what we get today. Look at this. This is beautiful right here. Look at that. That's what you get when I don't do my hair. So I haven't done my hair. We don't have any polls today. Like I literally just got home because my bags were delayed, and then there were 8-car pileup basically behind the ticket out gate. No, not an accident, but behind the ticket gate to get out of the parking because they only had one. It was definitely a pileup, and so I rolled in just in time. My daughter's like, "Don't you have your show in 15 minutes?" I'm like, "I do." So here we are. So we're just gonna have to have a little bit more fun today. I do have some topics, of course, to talk about, but just no polls. So that's good. Well, before we start that though, any big things happening this weekend we need to know about? What's going on? Anything?
Tell you what's happening in 11 days.
Robert looks sideways. He goes, I don't know. What's happening in 11 days?
My birthday. Most important day of the year.
Ooh, your birthday's in 11 days?
Yeah, March 16th, baby.
Oh, mine's the 26th.
What, first quarter is done?
First quarter's almost done. That's hard to believe. That's pretty crazy. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. So birthday. So we got to remember this. Bain's birthday is the 16th.
316, baby.
We should do like a special show just for you. That's what we should do. We should do like a Bain Beefcake edition of the Word on the Street.
I'm still waiting
All
for my
topics
beefcake.
created by Robert Bain.
Oh, y'all don't want that.
All polls created by Robert Bain.
So I don't have anything interesting happening this weekend. I did get like interesting information when I was up in Baltimore. So I went up to a trucking terminal in Shippensburg for a day, but then I came back and I was able to hang out with my daughter for a couple of days. So she's actually transferring, or she's trying to transfer from the Army to the Space Force, which I didn't even realize it's its own complete separate entity. It's its own branch of the military.
Space Force.
And she's like prime candidate for it because she's already like spy certified. That's what she does, and that's what they're looking for. So now my daughter is going to be like a space spy.
What does that mean exactly?
They're called Space Force Guardians. Like they're not soldiers or
spying on in space. What are you spying on in space?
So basically what she does now, as much as she can tell me, is she steals intel from people. Like she is a signals acquisition person, which means that like the stuff that different countries send back and forth, she grabs that.
So she's a government level gossiper.
Okay, everyone, take note of this. If you're ever around Justin's daughter, don't share anything you don't want her to know.
Yeah, don't say anything you don't want heard. She works with the NSA.
This is like what goes. I mean, she's watching us right now, I'm sure. But this is like the new show on Apple TV, For All Mankind. She's going to sit on the moon and send like smoke signals and fax messages back and forth to the Russians.
So basically, I think it's going from like ground-based communications to satellite-based communications, and both stealing other people's information and feeding false stuff to people.
That's what we as kids only dream of, dude.
Right.
And have a business card that says space.
Didn't we have somebody get in trouble for fake news? Like, isn't that a thing? Like,
yeah. Guess it depends on who you're feeding it to.
I suppose.
Facebook, it's fine.
Crazy.
When it's convenient, it's called counterintelligence.
Right.
There's a lot of things that we grew up as kids dreaming about that are literally now professions. Like the one you just talked about. I just talked to my nephew about professional gamers who are making decent money playing video games now, which I did not know about.
No.
I'm thinking,
I tried that at 15.
Didn't work out, huh?
Yeah, that was my 15-year-old version. He wanted to be a fucking pro gamer and make millions in playing League of Legends, and then I realized I sucked at it.
That's great. So I did this with my two boys, right? So my oldest likes to do video editing, and my youngest is like a really good like clay artist. So they started their own YouTube channel called Squishy Creations. They make the squishy clay and they make all these different. Basically, Nolan does the stuff from memory. They make like $150 a month off of YouTube advertising.
Sweet, really?
My two boys do. Yeah, I'm like, this is dope. Like, you guys can do your own thing, man. Like, I don't have to pay for anything anymore.
Yeah,
that's a whole lot easier than delivering newspaper.
Keep it up. You got to pay that tuition.
In the morning. Down, Justin.
But it's cool because now like the boys are always thinking like, hey, what can we do? What can we make now? Like, hey, Dad, can we buy like this ring light so we can get a better lighting scheme in the on the?
You're like, yeah, take that $150 and reinvest.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, boys.
That's really cool. That is really cool.
That is awesome. That's really cool.
When I think about it now, and I'm like, my kids are YouTubers. Like that feels weird.
Mine's a YouTuber as well, but not making $150. I got to figure this out. We got to make some more goods. I don't know what we got to do. Got to figure that out. But that's pretty great. That's awesome. That's really amazing. That is way better than delivering papers. Anybody else in here deliver papers as a kid? I don't know. Yeah.
Oof, I
think I was in fourth grade.
I mowed a lot of lawns.
I had this massive bag with the papers because you roll them up, you put them in, or rubber band, whatever. You got this massive bag, and I'm trying to ride my bike. I weighed 80 pounds. Like that bag weighed more than me, and I'm just all over the road.
Especially Sunday morning.
Oh my gosh!
The papers are like this big.
Well, and see, so I threw the local newspaper, like the little Raytown newspaper, and so it wasn't a subscription. Everybody got the paper, and then the paper boy had to go back and collect the money. People don't even know that, like, hey, I'm here to collect for the Raytown Dispatch.
Oh, that's how it works here.
I'm like, yeah, the paper I throw you 4 times a month.
At the end of the year, though.
It's $6
just before Christmas. get your tips.
Yeah,
you guys
so
do
like
that with the paper run?
well, we just literally had to go and just collect the money, but people didn't even sign up for it. But we threw it to everybody. Everybody got it, and then we went back and collected the money later, and then they
So
gave us.
what was your success rate on collections?
It seemed low. It was pretty miserable. That was the worst part of the job. Like throwing the papers was actually the fun part. Going back and saying, "Hey, you owe me money," and they're like, "For what?" I'm like, "For the paper I threw you." Like, I didn't ask for it. I'm like, "Yeah, but you got it."
That sounds like a government agency or something.
It was quite the gig. Yeah, it was quite the gig. That newspaper's no longer in business, like most small town newspapers. But I don't think it was their business model that was a problem. But it was very interesting, that's for sure. But way easier than playing video games. I'd much rather be a YouTuber at age 10. That would have been great. So anyways, all right, well, let's talk about our first topic of the day. Again, no polls today for those who are late. I was a little off my game this week, but we're going to talk a little bit about Texas and Mississippi opening up. A little controversy here, but here's what's really interesting about that. Did you guys know that there are 12 other states that never had a mask mandate and never had some of these, restrictions? And so everybody's giving Texas and Mississippi a hard time about opening up, but you have 12 or 13 other states that never even had them, and they're not even in the news. So pretty crazy. What do you guys think about all that?
Go back to
one
freedom.
Of those states. Yeah, we're one of those states that did not.
We are.
State of Missouri never had a mask mandate. We never had a mask. Now, where we live, but we live under the king, El Presidente.
Sam Page, King Page, we call him around here.
Gosh.
He does what he wants when he wants with whoever he wants and doesn't answer anybody. Sorry, Clark, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just making that comment. I think that, me personally, I think that we need to be able to make our own decisions and our own choices. But I also believe that we have to show compassion. And if people want you to wear it around them, then put the damn thing on or walk away from them,
Yeah. Well, here's what's interesting. They're not forcing people to not wear it. They're just saying people don't have to wear it. And there are businesses that are still going to have it in place. So if you walk into a Walmart or someplace like that, you still have to wear your mask. Right. And I think that's fine because they already dictate that. They say no shoes, no shirt, no service. Right. They already dictate.
We can refuse service to anybody for any reason.
Right. So I'm totally fine with that. But I like the fact that they're letting adults make decisions, which I think is a healthy thing. And again, nobody's forcing anybody to go out of their house. Nobody's forcing anybody to go anywhere they don't want to go to, or not wear the mask if they don't want to, or not wear 8 masks if they don't want to. But I think they're opening back up. What is interesting, though, is that they're opening up businesses to 100% capacity. Now, this is the interesting thing. If you owned a business in Texas, this has got to be a little bit of a catch-22 because you're probably excited that you can actually get better business. But the last thing you want to be is a reason for a super spreader event or something on the news for COVID. So as a business, I could see where there might be a little angst in terms of how to navigate that. Do they go 100% capacity, but everybody has to wear a mask? Do they just say all bets are off? We'll take anybody. We don't care, which some probably will. But I think as a business owner,
contact tracing.
They probably would. I would imagine. They're probably still going to do that. I don't think that's over yet. You guys have heard anything about that? About no contact tracing? We just got not us, but friends of ours just got contact traced 4 weeks ago. So I know that at least here they're still doing it. But Erin, not in Pennsylvania?
I have no idea. I don't pay attention.
What are they? What about these companies in Texas? How are they going to get their employees to come back and work after a year of being told that they needed to be isolated? I just know a lot of people that are like, wait a minute, what do you have in store, right? Like what process do you have that's going to keep us safe?
Right. And they're probably going to have to make it optional. They're probably going to say, hey, listen, if you don't want to come into work, that's fine. We're not going to fire you, of course. They probably can't fire him. I bet there's something going on with that right now. But,
do you guys have that in the US, as in here in the UK, that going back to work? If by law, if you don't feel safe, you're not obliged to go to work. You can work from home if you feel that your health is at risk.
Yeah.
Is that the same in the US?
I don't know that we have those law. Is it a law? Everything here is kind of run by the states, so I don't know. I haven't heard of it.
As in here, you can't
it's
be
state
fired.
by
They
state.
can't force you to come to work.
Yeah,
it's state by state, and is health reasons cannot cause you to be let go.
There's probably some fundamental laws about that.
Yeah, you can't be let go for it, but the other half is, you still need to be able to accomplish all the responsibilities of the position.
Right.
And there are, most companies are going to be understanding, right? Like, where I'm at, we're allowed to come back into the office. We could have as many people here as we want, but if somebody's booking trucks at their house and they're booking 14 trucks a day, and they were booking 14 trucks a day in the office, and all the freight's getting moved, go ahead, book 14 trucks a day in your underwear for all I care.
Greg, where are you located?
Just don't turn your camera on.
Right around Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's up to the employer. Now, if somebody really wanted to be, for lack of better words, if somebody wanted to be a dick about it, they could probably say, okay, well, you're lacking the internal office communication. And because there is something to it, anybody who's been in a brokerage, I'm going to be a carrier rep. I stand up, I say, I'm talking to somebody on the phone, booking San Antonio to Chicago, and somebody else overhears me, right? It's the broker's ear. It's what you do. You overhear what's going on around you, and okay, now I'm not going to take that next call, right? So you could probably argue that there's some sort of loss in functionality there. But again, at the same time, as an employer, as a manager, you're trying to get all of your employees to do as best as they can all of the time. If you're going to hold somebody to a different standard, or if you're going to meticulously go out of your way to try and put your employees down and try and find reasons to not let them be successful, you're a failed business to begin with, and it's a matter of time.
Plus, you're going to end up with some type of EEOC complaint against you.
Yeah.
And as soon as the EEOC comes sniffing, like, get out your checkbook, because it's going to go bad for you.
Yeah. But think about this, though. I mean, we're assuming that, we're really kind of presuming on more like white collar jobs you can work from home. Like, I think Racquelle has a good point. I mean, if Walmart needs to have more employees because they're not going to have more business, or a local mom and pop store needs people to come in to work the cashier, and those people don't want to come in, what do? I think they'll probably keep them on the payroll because I think they have to, but they'll probably have to hire some other people who are willing to come in. And then, what happens, when they don't need all those people? I mean, it's kind of crazy. But we'll see what happens. I've heard a lot of people really applauding the decision and applauding freedom. And I've heard other people that, of course, are just bagging on it, and just obviously the president, Neanderthal thinking came out of his mouth, and a few other things like that. So there's definitely a lot of division when it comes to this. But again, the fascinating thing is there's a division on what Texas and Mississippi are doing, but 12 other states have been doing this the whole time. So it's just kind of weird. Everybody's acting like these are the only two states that are doing it. But I do wonder, what's the next state to drop? Anybody want to take a guess at which state's going to drop next?
Well, out of the 12, so Trey, which 12? Which 12 don't have it? Because it.
All right, here they are. You ready?
South Dakota.
Yeah, South Dakota's. Where'd it go? I pulled it up earlier.
But see, I'm sitting here thinking about like Alabama,
Alaska.
Georgia.
Okay, here they are in alphabetical order: Alaska, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Iowa. Now Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, and Tennessee.
So it'll be like Alabama,
Kentucky,
Arizona. Did I miss?
So I'm in Alabama.
Arizona.
The governor here just extended the mask mandate for like until June, but she said.
Okay, so Justin, you shot me down. Thanks.
Wyoming's not on here. I'm surprised that Wyoming is not on here. I'm wondering if this is accurate, because I would assume, and there's nobody even in Wyoming. And I love Wyoming; it's a great state, but there's nobody even.
People don't have to wear a mask or something.
Well, when I was in Wyoming last summer, like, they weren't wearing them then. That was like in July. That was the height of everything that was going on, and they didn't even, like, you couldn't even buy them out there. It was crazy. So I'm surprised they're not on it. But it's probably going to be Republican-led governors that are doing that. I don't see Washington or Oregon doing that anytime soon, because they're still fining people for having too many guests.
Pennsylvania.
No Pennsylvania. No love for Pennsylvania. No.
We have a Democrat in office.
Head nod. Yeah, going down. That's I think that's probably what's going to happen. So it's very interesting. We'll see what happens. But so I'm going to guess Wyoming. That's going to be my guess, is Wyoming.
What about Florida?
Florida's already out.
Florida was never in.
Yeah, and Florida's been open.
I was gonna say, I've heard lots of stories about how nobody's wearing a mask there.
I mean, they wear them, but like, it's just like the restaurants are 100% full. you know, so they've never had the capacity, or at least they haven't had the capacity decreases recently. So like last night I went to dinner, wore a mask inside, took it off, and then, you know, right next to every table full kind of thing. Like they don't.
Where'd you go, Trey? Were you county
dinner?
or? Yeah,
What?
just curious. Were you
Bahama
county or?
Breeze. Bahama Breeze.
Never even heard of that place.
It's pretty good, actually. Not too bad. I was trying to get something that I can't get here. They don't have this here in St. Louis, so.
Oh, that's right. You were out of town.
I was out of town. That's right. So I just got back. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that, but that's gonna continue to trickle. We got the new one-shot vaccines coming out. It looks like there's a promise that we're gonna have enough vaccines by May for everybody if they want to take them. Although I've talked to a lot of people who are like not gonna take it at all. So that will be interesting. In some countries, and I think Nick could have shared this views with us, but in some countries they're basically requiring it to go to the store, to go travel anywhere, to all that. So I mean, you have to have your vaccination card to go places, to travel, get on a train, get on a plane. So I mean, I don't know if we'll go to those measures, but it'll be fascinating because, you know, there's a lot of people who are against taking the vaccine.
I actually had this conversation with my mother-in-law last night because she's pushing for us to all get vaccinated, and I just said it's everyone's individual right. But if it comes down to not being able to work or travel, then obviously then it would be pretty much forced at that point.
Well, I mean, that's what they're going to do. They're not going to put a gun to your head or anything like that, but they're going to make it to where you can't live life. You know, you can't do what you want to do if they wanted to go that route, because there are countries in other parts of the world that are doing that right now. So that will be
What's crazy is I had that same conversation with Racquelle's mother-in-law last night.
One went on. That sounds like they need some freedom.
Trey, you mentioned they're not putting a gun to people's head, but you know, figuratively speaking, they kind of are. If you're going to be
metaphorically, absolutely they are. You know, it'd be like saying, "Hey, you don't have to do this, but we're just not going to give you a paycheck if you don't." Like, well, okay, right?
Yeah,
I guess I'll do it. You know, there's just not a lot.
There's also the thing. For example, I was polling today our staff, and I was like, okay, I give them 3 options. You guys want to go back to the office? You guys want to go 2 days to the office? You guys want to stay home? And not a single person said they wanted even 2 days. They just want to stay home.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So first we had like a learning curve. First we had a learning curve to get adapted to work from home out of nowhere. And now we have a potential depressing curve because we have to go back onto the streets. You know, and I think we spoke about this like a year ago. It's like, once we get adapted, then we're going to have to deal with the daily nuisance, the traffic, especially here in Medellin. Jesus Christ, the traffic is like LA. Deal with the traffic, deal with getting wet on a motorcycle, deal with all that stuff. And it's like, it's going to be the complete opposite to the initial curve.
Yeah. Although, you know, speaking of that, I do think that more people are going to want to work from home long term. I think that's going to be a more natural thing now. And that will relieve some of that traffic. But I know what you're saying, Juan. It's pretty crazy in Medellin. Other, you know, big cities here in the States too. But I mean, you know, like I was speaking of traffic and everything like that, people are buying properties in Florida sight unseen, like literally not even properties that are for sale, right? Our CEO, Robert Bain, was telling me that he had people come to his door, knock on his door and ask him to sell their house, and said, "We'll make it worth your while." He's like, "No."
Really?
Yeah, because people coming from New York, and they, you know, like what's $1 million to somebody in New York, or $500,000 to somebody in New York? I mean, they're getting a small apartment in New York for that, if that. Probably not even getting that. And now, like, they don't have to work from home. They don't have to work at the office. They can go anywhere. And so they're coming down to saying, "I'll gladly pay $1 million for your 2,000 square foot house here on this golf course. You know, I'll make it worth your while." I mean, that's what's going on. Is they're literally going door to door.
You can't refuse.
Yeah, going door to door I mean, how much would somebody have to offer you for your house where you go, "Yep, I'm good. I'm out of here"?
I mean, if I get like 150K, I just, like, you can stay with the bed, with all the furniture. I'll just take my computer and my clothes and I'm out.
Everything.
Give me 20 minutes. I'll be out of here.
Let me grab a few pictures in my underwear, and when we're gone, you can have everything. That's right.
At least that's my price right now. Like,
but that's what's happening, right? So, but then that's gonna change traffic patterns. It's gonna change a lot of those types of things, you know, because it's not gonna have the people running around the cities like that. Chris Jolly, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys?
What is the deal today? Everybody today.
Everybody's
looking at everybody did their hair but me today. That's what happened. It's like you all knew I was wearing a hat. I'm like, okay, I better gel this up, curl it, get it going.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to, look as professional as possible.
What is this? What are you going on TV soon or what? I mean, what's the deal?
Yeah, that's exactly it. No, man, I'm just fucking worn down, and I forgot to put my hat on today.
You're going on Mad Gains TV. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I am.
Right.
I gotta.
Is that today?
Oh, when is that?
Yeah, that's at 3 o'clock Eastern. Juan.
Oh, that's gonna be cool.
You better send him an invite.
Well, I'll be watching.
Send him an invite. He won't make it.
Yeah. Excuse me.
He won't make it. Come on, Trey.
Yep. Send him a calendar invite. He'll be texting you. What time zone? What is it?
Yeah, right.
Got to give you a hard time.
That used to happen because Trey and I couldn't get our time zones together.
On the regular. I'm like, I know you're Eastern right now. Like, I know this is right, but it could have been wrong. It was a mess, but it looks good though, man. But it is weird not seeing the hat on. I must admit.
Yeah, I know. I was on back to. I try not to wear a backwards hat when I'm in, coaching sessions. So I was on back-to-back one this morning, and then I just got done recording a podcast as well, and I didn't put my hat on for that. So I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna show up."
This is it today. This is who I am today. No, it looks nice. I mean,
your hat on.
The next thing will be if you shave the beard, then it'll really, I won't even recognize you, man.
Dude, I can't. I'm pretty sure Paloma would leave me if I shaved my beard. It's like 90% of the reason why she's with me. God knows it's not my looks that keeps her coming back. So,
hey, speaking of
my
facial hair,
husband shaved his beard one time, and I said that better grow back really fast. It was not pretty.
I don't remember wearing that face.
Thank God I'm not the only one, because my partner shaved his beard and I was fucking pissed. and even now I'm like looking at him and I was like, I hate you. Why would you say that? I'm like,
oh my gosh, that's so ugly.
He looks younger than me too. And I don't know. That fucker.
That's funny. Well, I used to only have a goatee. That was kind of my thing for a long time. And then like once a year I'd shave it just to remember what it was like. And my kids started going, Dad, gosh, put that back on. I'm like, all right, we'll give it a couple days. So
Dad, you are hideous.
What is that? What is on your upper lip? What is that? It's
my son told me, he's like, Dad, you don't look good without your beard. I'm like,
I mean, if you want brutal honesty,
ask a kid. What do you think about this? That's right. There's no filter. That's so funny. So now, Clark, you've gone. Clark, you've gone back and forth. You just shaved a little bit. You had a beard, and now it's gone, right? I mean,
I had a beard. I shaved the beard. I had long hair. I cut the hair.
Are you catching slack at home? Are you catching slack for doing these things at home? What's the deal?
Well, so the wife and the daughter did not like the beard. That's why.
So they're going the other way. Interesting.
Yeah, I got rid of it.
Had to get rid of it. Yeah. Speaking of facial hair, which I was going to say earlier, Tyler Crow was on the call, one of my sales guys down in Florida. He's like, I'm not shaving until I close another deal. Like, this is what he says, right? I was like, okay. I'm like, how long's it been? It'd been a week. He had just a little bit right here and just a little bit right here. I was like, this is not the kind of bet that's going to motivate you. Like you're literally not even growing the hair. Like there's nothing. I mean, literally like a baby's butt, nothing. And just a little, like almost like you penciled it in right above his lip. I was like, what? What happened to you?
I haven't shaved since Monday.
Hard to tell. There you go.
Wow.
Really? Really? Wow.
I don't grow facial hair.
Yeah. I don't know what to say
It
about
makes
that.
it kind of nice for my church callings. I don't have to shave very often. Business calls, who cares? Can't see it.
All right. Well, that's the way it goes on that. Okay. All right. So next topic.
You're not alone in that sense.
Not alone in that sense. Next topic we're going to talk
Save
about.
money on razors.
Big in the news this week. Dr. Seuss was partially canceled. That was interesting. Erin, what do you think about that?
Was that Disney?
Stupid.
Disney.
Did you guys see the books that they did though? Like some of this, like those examples, I can kind of see why. Like it's bad. Like the books that they're talking about, the pictures that are in those books of a white male whipping two black kids.
Yeah.
That needs to
really.
Yeah.
No, I missed
canceling Cat in the Hat or Green Eggs.
What are they canceling? And
six Dr. Seuss books will not be published anymore.
Yeah.
And those books are.
I never saw those.
Terrible to read, anyways.
I never saw that.
Those books are, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. If I were in the zoo, McGilligan's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Egg Super, and the Cat's Quizzer. So it's not really like a lot of the like really famous ones for the most part. You know, Oh, the Places You'll Go, Cat in the Hat, those kind of things are being canceled. But 6 books are. But this is like, again, this is like throwing up a huge fit, you know, because you got, you know, cancel culture is a big buzzword right now. So everybody's having a fit over that. But Chris, I will agree with you. Some of those were a little sketchy.
And even
if it has that type of contact, no.
Dr. Seuss himself, before he died, was saying like this, like I made mistakes, like my writing was bad. And it was actually it didn't get it was at the request of his family that it got stopped. Nobody
and he changed actually.
Yeah,
he really changed his writing moving forward after that.
Yeah, his family said we're going to stop it. It was nobody brought it, like nobody canceled it. His family did it.
Yeah,
you know, so it's like leave it to Barstool. Trey, sorry, leave it to Barstool Sports though, because they were the only ones who gave the truth. No media on either side of the fence said why and gave specific examples. Barstool Sports gave specific examples, and after I saw that, I'm like, yeah. Fucking right, stop publishing those books. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And they can't stop. It's not the, I mean, they can still be in a library. They can still be sold. In fact, there could be a little bit of a conspiracy theory behind that because Dr. Seuss sales shot through the roof this week. So I'm almost wondering if the family went, okay, we got 50 books here. These are questionable. Let's cancel them, get a big buzz, and get some extra sale. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they think that far ahead.
Yeah. Tinfoil hats, please.
Good timing. Yeah, so their sales are up through the roof right now, which is pretty fascinating. But you're absolutely right, Chris. It's like controversy. Like the whole headline is, you know, Dr. Seuss is canceled. Well, okay, that's not true. He's not completely canceled. He's 6 books, but nobody really talked about it. And Barstool Sports, by the way, one of the best media organizations out there, bar none. Love Barstool Sports. Great follow. If you don't follow Barstool Sports, it's not all sports, as you can tell. It's other too, but they're really good. So
they just give, to me, they just give like what clearly all of us on this call think about things. They're just not afraid to put it out there in the masses because they don't have an agenda. You know, like we can all have different political views and opinions, but we can have an adult fucking conversation about it in this setting. And nobody else is willing to do that, but they are. So that's why I follow them for that.
Can you put the link, guys, in the chat, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, can you do that? Can you put the bar?
Well, I'm not getting paid. Fuck no. I got it.
It's for Diana. It's not for me. It's for Diana. Come on. You want her to Venmo you some money or something? I mean, what do you want?
Please, I'm a startup, bro. Come on.
You're gonna get paid for everything, man.
Exactly.
That's right. No, Barstool Sports is legit. I could totally see you working there, Chris, someday. I could see you at Barstool Sports. Have your podcast in that crew.
Who knows? They might buy me one day. They might be like, we want to get into transportation. Who's this fucking freight coach?
Who's this Chris Jolly guy? Hey, listen, one of the guys from Barstool Sports, Riggs, he lives down in Phoenix 4 months out of the year and just goes to these golf courses and does videos on these different golf courses. He's big into golf. He's in your area. You should just like meet up with him, put him on your podcast. My goodness, I'd listen to that.
I'm sure a lot of people would. It's just getting him on my podcast.
Well, you're right there in Phoenix. Just, hunt him down. You got it. You can do it.
Riggs? He's the one who lives out here 4 months out of the year?
Yes. Yep. Riggs Barstool, at Riggs Barstool on Twitter. Yep.
Can somebody teach me how to slide into somebody's DMs though? I've never done it. Anybody? Slide and ask. I don't know how to properly slide in.
You're going to have to pay for that. You want to do that.
Nothing in life is free, Trey. You know.
Nothing. There's no free lunch.
That's another consulting service. Yep.
That's right.
I'm open to coaching.
So let's take this to the broader context because clearly, anything that like gets canceled now is cancel culture, and that certainly has been out there. But here's my question: like, I feel like right now, cancel culture, it does exist. It is a real thing. But what I really feel like is going on, and this is my bigger concern, is I feel like there's a battle for the truth right now. But I don't think it's a battle for what is true. I think it's a battle for who gets to decide what is true or what is okay. That's what the battle is right now.
That sounds just about right.
Yep.
Because if you can be the one who gets to determine what's right or true, then you're the one who gets to tell everybody else that they're a liar or they're a bad person or they're wrong or demonize people. And that's what's happening. And here's the other part that's a problem is that we can't agree on truths anymore. Like we can't agree on truths. And so if we can't agree on a truth, there's no absolute truth, then you're really at a standstill in terms of making progress or interacting with each other because both sides are just lying to each other and their perception in their mind, and it's creating, chaos. But here's my issue about cancel culture. I want to get your opinion on this. Like, when was it, like, at what point did it become wrong to just be an idiot, or to be a jerk, or to be a loser, like, or to be stupid? Like, at what point did that become something that we have to, like, eliminate from the culture? That's what I feel like, is like, people are determining who's stupid, who's wrong, who's offensive. Like, I don't want to permeate those things, but I also don't necessarily want to have to, like, I don't want to be the one who's saying you're wrong and you can't do this, and this. Like, that, to me, it's not freedom. What's the balance here? That's my struggles. What's the balance between, what's appropriate, not appropriate, and who gets to decide, and how we do that moving forward? It's a mess in my mind.
Comment on that one?
That question even kind of causes there is no, right or wrong in every situation. Everything isn't binary where is it this or is it that? And that's where a lot of the cancel culture, in my opinion, comes into it, where they're saying, well, no, you're slightly different than I am, or even if you're vastly different than I am, you are quote unquote wrong. As opposed to, well, it's a sliding scale, and I'm on a scale of 1 to 10 at a 4 on this topic, and you're at an 8. We can agree to disagree. Whereas, now it seems like it's 0 or 10 and no in between.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's extremes. It's 0 or 10.
Yeah.
And you have to pick sides.
I would love to add that. I would love to.
Yeah. Diana, what'd you say?
On this call that politically, I probably disagree with somewhat. And then you just don't talk about those things, or you talk about other subjects, or you agree that I don't agree with you on that. I don't, when we got to the point that, if I find Chris disgusting, I don't watch his show, but I don't have to make everybody else not watch Chris's show. And I'm telling you, I find disgusting.
Why me?
But
why do you use me?
You've got thick skin. Because you've got thick skin.
I know.
You can handle it.
I just don't see why, like, if I don't like something, why do I have to force everybody else to not like that same thing? I don't want to listen, I won't listen. I'll go find some other media, or I'll talk to other people, or I'll listen to something else, but I don't have to make everybody else agree with me to feel good about myself. So
right. And it pushes everybody into their own little tribe of people that think just like them. That's what it does, is it pushes people into a small group that they just keep agreeing on things. They never really grow. I was talking to Meshach about this last week, and Adam Robinson as well. Like, Meshach and Adam Robinson, you guys probably know this, they're probably center left, and they'll tell you that. I'm not saying anything that they wouldn't tell you as well. And I'm a little bit center right when it comes to just overall philosophies, but we all cross ways. Like there are things that they think very conservatively about. There's things that I think very liberally about, but we'll never get to that if we don't talk. And what's happening right now is that nobody is talking and allowing other people to talk. Like, nobody's saying, hey, tell me why you think that universal basic income is important. Why should we have that? I want to hear your thought. I want to hear your argument for it. I just want to learn. Like, I don't want to listen to it to tell you why you're wrong. I want to listen to it to actually learn. And those conversations, it's like we can't even have that conversation anymore. Do you guys remember the show that they used to have on CNN back in the 90s or 2000s called Crossfire? Anybody ever watch that show?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I missed that show. No. Like, I actually missed that show because they'd have a Republican and Democrat, and they would talk about issues, and they would do it civilly. And you'd actually get to hear the different points. But that can't even, it's like that conversation can't even happen right now. And it's so frustrating, because I just think, like you said, Greg, it puts everybody on the extremes.
People become so entrenched in their own ideas that they can't listen to anything else. Like, even an intelligent explanation. And I know that there are people who share political viewpoints with me that are dumber than a sack of hammers. If you try to explain anything else to them, they wouldn't get it, or they wouldn't listen to you because they get so entrenched.
Yep.
Their viewpoint.
That is called,
will not listen.
Yeah, that is called cognitive dissonance. So
I call it ignorance.
A lot of that going on. Yeah.
I call it ignorance.
Or ignorance.
But in all seriousness, and Trey, I don't know if I shared the story with you last week, but I mean, I consider myself a libertarian. I've got social, legalized pot, let the gays get married. I don't give a damn. I really don't. But I'm fiscally conservative. But I have a mother-in-law who will do nothing but sit and watch Fox all day. And that's how they get their news. Well, they came over to our house and I have Barack Obama's new book called Promised Land. And by the way, I suggest you all read it.
It's
it is
a really good
damn
read.
Good book. It's a really good read.
Really good read.
But she
Quick
said,
read,
"Oh,
too.
is that your new
Surprisingly quick."
Bible?" Yeah. But she goes, "Oh, is that your new Bible?" Because I had my Bible sitting next to it. And I go, "No, this is Barack Obama's new book." And she goes, "Why are you reading that crap?"
Okay. Wait, I gotta pause you for a second. I gotta pause you. So she said, "Is that your new Bible?" Not knowing what it was.
Exactly.
I thought she said it knowing what it was.
No. I'm sorry. So on this end table, I had that, and then I had one of my Bibles sitting on the end table. And she says, "What's that? Is that your new Bible?" And I said, "No, this is Barack Obama." "Why are you reading that shit?" That came out of my mother-in-law's. I said, "You've got to learn. You've got to expand why he did certain things." I mean, there's stuff that he did that 2 years ago I would have said, "You're nuts." Now it's like, okay, you made your argument. I get it. I still may not agree with it, but I get it.
Politics are way better.
Justin, one of the things that
way better.
Yeah, one of the things, and Chris Jolly, you had said this too. The mainstream media, whether it be right or left, sucks these people in. If you cannot be disciplined enough to say, "I'm going to listen to this group and this group," and be able to form your own opinion, if you're going to follow one narrative or follow another narrative, that to me is a sign of ignorance. That's just my personal opinion.
No, I agree with you. I agree with that.
Completely. And you know, and the
so
truth
if anybody
is, like,
wants to read my piece of crap book when I'm done with it, I'm more than
if I could get it down here,
I'd
definitely buy it.
It's a
I'll
really good
send
book.
it down to you.
Yeah, I enjoy reading those. I started reading presidential memoirs when Bush wrote Decision Points, and it's fascinating because you learn, like, they're more honest, they're more open about, like, things. Like, I mean, Bush will tell you in Decision Points that flying over Hurricane Katrina not stopping was one of the biggest mistakes of his presidency, and the picture that was taken of him looking out the window at the disaster and not going down to it, and it's just more candid and more honest. And so I think politics are way better in the rearview mirror and worth reading. But the thing is, you're absolutely right, Clark. A lot of people, especially on the right, will never read that book, right? And there's some things in there that he writes, I'm like, that's just so partition. I hate that. Like, that's happened. I've read. I'm like, I hate that. But then there's other things in there, like you said, that
reading nowadays.
Well, that's true.
Juan, that's a great point. Juan, is people don't read anymore. They just fucking hang out on Instagram and Twitter, and that's where they get all the
Oh God.
And thank you for introducing the actors in question. I think this is the most most controversial statement that one can say about tech nowadays, and it's simply that Facebook is destroying democracies across the world with their stupid fucking algorithm. And I'm going to say that as it is.
Yeah.
And I hope sooner or later we remedy this technological cancer that Zuckerberg brought into society, because this dude has no moral
and Dorsey and all
whatsoever.
They're all the same. Yeah, they're all the same.
It's good to see countries fight, like Mexico, for example. I said is fucking putting a law in place about Facebook and their ability to sway opinion.
Oh, it's unreal. If you haven't watched Social Dilemma, by the way, that's your homework this weekend. If you haven't watched that movie is like
another one.
Freaking scary.
I love that.
Scary.
It's unreal.
And as Apple, as Apple's been bringing down the hammer on them with the whole privacy thing, which honestly, privacy is not something that you should be able to buy. You're born with it and you die with it. Google's coming up with new ways of tracking, like third-party cookies is something that's going to be part of the past, but they're still looking ways to how to spy on what you're doing. And it's nowadays they call it FLOC, but like they just want to keep sitting on this billion-dollar industry that's just not doing any good to anybody.
Yeah. Well, here's the line from the Social Dilemma that got me the most. This guy said, if you're using a product that is free, you are the product. And that hit me. That hit me so hard. And so now I think, the hard part is this, I can't even really function without my phone. Like, that's the sad part. Business, personal, relationships. Yeah. It's almost like what would happen if they turned off the electricity for a week for all of us? I mean, literally turn it off for a week, meaning there's no internet anymore. There's no way to charge your phone anymore. There's no way to use computers anymore. What would that be like? I can't even imagine what that would be like.
We might know in like a year. You never know.
Yeah.
you see, that's the thing is it's like when
They can
people
turn
give
it off.
up, yeah, when you give up all of your power that you may or may not have, you know, it's scary how fucking people don't realize how much of under control we really are.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, sorry, I don't have my tinfoil hat coming up here, but it's like,
I'm with you.
It's alarming how quick people give up their freedom here because they are so reliant on other people to tell them how to put on a pair of pants, essentially.
Yeah, and think about this. I mean, Facebook came out originally as a way to connect, right? Like connect with people. And there's good that's come out of that. You can reconnect with family members, reconnect with friends from high school. There's good that came out of it. But what they're doing is they're getting us so addicted to this machine with the good things. Like, you now can do business on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. You can have business pages up. You can reconnect with people. You can schedule events. You can sell stuff. All this stuff, just the good things, so that they can keep us on it. Because if we're on it, then they actually have something to sell to the advertisers. It was always interesting. When I worked at DAT, our VP at that time said, without our users, we have nothing. Because if you think about it, at 12 o'clock a.m. every day, DAT load board is empty. And it is nothing. It is not a product of any value until somebody posts a load or truck, right? And that's what social media is. Like if we took one day and we didn't post one thing, nobody posted anything, there wouldn't be anything. There wouldn't be any social media. Like they're dependent upon us, but they've got us so addicted to it that we are the product. And they're using that. I don't really think that they're trying to sway elections necessarily. Maybe a little bit. I think they're trying to keep us on the app. And the way they keep us on the app is by speaking to our ideologies. By speaking to us what we are interested in, whether it's politics or sports or pictures or whatever it might be. They're just trying to keep us, looking at the phone, picking up the phone. Social Dilemma. If you haven't watched that this weekend, that's your homework. It's fascinating. Yeah. Fascinating for sure. I don't know the answer. Chris, what's the answer? I don't know the answer. I don't know how to solve that problem.
I think for us to not, I think for the answer lies within the citizens of our country, because we're the last free society on earth, essentially. And we need to let people, I think we need to, I guess, reinstill and re-educate our youth that we vote our elected officials in. It's not the other way around. There's not a dictatorship here.
Re-educate our youth. We're not even sending them to school.
No, I know. Back to my tinfoil hat thing, man. I just think it's really fucking hard to not listen to conspiracy theories, and you're like, that's exactly what's happening right now, Yeah. And that's what's sad to me.
There's no alternative. Where else would you go?
It started when they took the Pledge of Allegiance out of fucking school. All right, that pisses me off so goddamn much that's not a part of it. And
wait, that's not a thing anymore?
No. Yeah. Schools here don't recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Some do, but no, most of them don't.
All the way to 4th grade, every single day, 7 a.m. sacredly. That's what we did as soon as I got into school. Yeah.
In Colombia?
I went to school in the U.S.
Okay,
I grew up in the U.S.
Wow, you guys did that in Colombia? Well, that's impressive.
I just don't see people risking their lives to leave the United States of America. Why the fuck? Why? How do people realize that when they see other people from other countries, like what just happened in the southern border, fucking 4 hours from Phoenix here, 13 people got killed fucking fleeing a fascist government to come here to fucking work in 140-degree heat and pick fucking berries over the summer. All right? That's what people I don't understand how
people are running away from. Yeah.
That sentence, Chad, had more F-bombs, I think, than anyone I've heard you say. I loved it. That was fired up passion, man.
I'm just saying, I hate seeing people shit on how great we fucking have it here, time in and time out.
Yeah. Well, think about this. I mean, our country obviously is involved in wars. We have an entire industrial complex, military complex, but in the last 60 years, it's been a moneymaker for us. It has not been something to defend our freedoms. We have I haven't had to fight for my freedom. None of us on this call really had to fight for our freedom. We might have fought for other things elsewhere for those who are in the military, but we haven't really had to fight for our freedom and to preserve our way of life in a long time. And when you don't do that, you don't value it. I haven't had to sacrifice. I haven't lost a brother or sister who went to war and didn't come back, or a dad or something like that. Like, we don't know the cost. We don't feel the cost because we haven't had to fight for our freedom in a long time. And Chris, to your point, we're losing it. Like, we think it's untouchable. We're like 12-year-old kids that think we're never going to die. Like, that's where we are as a country, and we haven't had to fight for anything.
Right. I lived in Argentina for a couple of years, which is, it's not like Argentina, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like, I had food to eat and stuff, but I was in a really poor area of the country, and there were places where they had palm huts and dirt floors and no electricity. But so I was there for 2 years without coming home. And now when I hear especially like politicians that kind of like debase our country a little bit, like, oh, we're not that great. I'm like, go live in another country for 2 years and then come back and tell me
you'll see
how great the country is.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, do we have the best
Amen
of
to that.
everything? Maybe not. And are there some things that I would like to change? Definitely. But go live somewhere else for 2 years and then come back and tell me how bad we have it here.
You don't see people fleeing to a lot of other countries. You see people coming here, right? And there's a reason. And there's a reason for sure. So, my goodness, look, it's 1 o'clock, everybody.
Have a great weekend.
See you, Chris. Thanks for coming, guys.
Have a great one.
No polls, no pictures, no nothing. This was a great conversation. I enjoyed it.
Still enjoyable. Just looking at Erin's hair made it worth it.
What are we gonna get next?
Yo, is
week?
Nick still here? Is Nick still here?
We had dinner.
I needed his eye for this. Like,
let's see it, Juan.
You'll have to
flash it up there.
You'll have to send
let me see how I turn this thing around. There you go. There's the stroganoff.
Nice. Look at that. Right there.
Main
soup. Homemade. That took him an hour to make, y'all. He was chopping mushrooms.
I know, that whole time, slicing and dicing, and had those ginsus out.
Yeah. It's always good to make your own food.
Congratulations on the weight loss there, Juan. That's impressive, man. Well done. Very cool. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one, everybody.
See you guys.
Bye.
Everyone have a good one.